Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Primetime game recap. We're going to go over most of the Primetime games over week 3, then we're going to go over the rest of the overall week. I understand this is a bit late, but I'm going to do this way before we get to Thursday Night Football and we kick off week 4, where we had, shockingly, a lot of close games week 3. A lot of more offensive scoring, a lot of choke. Atlanta thought it'd be smart to try to choke twice in a row after, a 16-point deficit? And then here they are just choking off. They were leading 3 to 6. I'm gonna do that later. The first primetime game we had was obviously Thursday Night Football to start. It was the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Miami Dolphins. Yay! Okay, let's go over the game because obviously, people were enticed because of course it had two non-playoff teams with the most memeable men because they have facial hair. So it ended 31-13. If you haven't noticed, the Dolphins now finally get that asterisk out of their record, and they open up 30, and now they're 1-2 with Jacksonville off a win, and they came off upsetting the Colts week 1. They know their place when they faced off against the Titans week 2, and now here they are week 3 losing to a team that probably was an obsolete gimme game if it wasn't for the more veteran keenship over on the offensive for Larry Fitzgerald. They opened up with 14 points. They were playing tremendously. 18 of 20. Freaking Fitzpatrick was Ryan Fitzpatrick was going all over the place. Rushing over the pocket. The guy scrambled for at least a few yards over for a first down. It was shocking. He was the second leading rusher with 38 yards. And he only scrambled at least a few times, and some of them for decent attempts for at least gaining some yardage for a first down down the red zone. And some was at least I think a 13-yarder, and he was super, the gap was super empty. It was a crazy play. And Devontae Parker played well. Caught he caught all of his target when he was targeted. So did Miles Gaskins. But Mike Gesicki caught just play action, go outside for the post, for a corner, for an out, and he just caught it. I think Preston Williams also was down the red zone, caught it down off a short pass, and then that was easy. And I was just Josh Allen only got one play, and he only got one tackle for loss, and it's oh, that's the most I'm going to see from the defense today, huh? It's we can excuse week 1 performances. Yes, the Jaguars won, but you forgot that this is a new system. Some of the newer players are on the Colts, especially over Philip Rivers, so you don't suspect him to just gel with his team immediately. We made the same discussion over the Buccaneers' loss to the New Orleans Saints week 1 against in game of the week against the New Orleans Saints. Gardner Minshew went 30 of 42. Most of them were overthrown, completely under pressure. Sometimes it was hard to even try to target over James Robinson, that did show up some highlights. Trick plays. I think they went over a jet, but he got tackled for loss. He did catch most of his balls, went for 83 yards. Kellen Cool, I felt bad for Chris Conley. I didn't even see it. I don't think even C.D. Clark did it. Westbrook went nothing. I think they were just prioritizing their speed. Like, I make jokes about them being slot receivers, and then you have this happen. And I don't like making a lot of jokes about athletes like that, but that's how it is. You have a lot of slots. But you got to give it up to the defense. You had Jerome Baker that got a major pass deflection under the pocket. So did Cougar Hill, Brandon Jones, Eric Rowe. I thought he got a sack, but I think that was only Kyle Van Noy later in the game. And Slayer and of course Emmanuel Ugba played really well. And Genko. I could rarely remember any sort of play that, Gardner Minshew did. And that's a bit sad, man, because I do like Gardner Minshew, and I think he has a bright future in the NFL. It's just tough that he had to face off against a team and lose pretty terribly. Like, really bad. But hopefully they learn from this loss. I think I'll do a picks video. I don't do a lot of picks, man, because I know I'm gonna probably lose a lot of picks. But they're just predictions. But I don't think I was that accurate last year when I was doing pick videos, and I rarely did them unless I felt like them, like earlier in the season. But here we are, big game. New Orleans Saints face off against the Green Bay Packers on Sunday night. 37-30 victory. And all I can say is Lazard, Aaron Jones, do not leave Aaron Rodgers two alone. He threw 3 touchdown passes, and I think 2 of them went to Lazard. Aaron Jones went over to the red zone, and he just kept going for a first down, toss play, first down. Like, there was Alvin Kamara as well, and there was plays where the Packers just couldn't touch him. And over the fourth quarter, probably they were going half speed because they were probably 17-point lead already in the game. But yeah, Alvin Kamara just off a short pass immediately just bungled them out, and you barely see that. Allen Lazard, some people must have bottomed him out as the fourth receiver, and now here he is getting 146. He was catching out routes, catching deep balls over the pocket whenever it felt like the Saints were just chunking yardage up off short passes, and there it is. You didn't see Devontae Adams, Jay Sternberger only caught a few balls, and Robert Toyan. They were not the primitive options. Lizard was just playing well, and I was expecting Van Scatling, get some catches in, but he only caught 1 ball. So there it is offensively. I mean, there wasn't much except Zadarius Smith fumble. He did get the ball next to Kingsley Keke, and there was many pass deflections. I think there was a deep ball off Jareer Alexander, but it was nearly called off for a pass interference. There was not a lot of calls later on in the game. I I don't know where was the offensive improvement in the Saints. It's like they're either targeting over Alvin Kamara or they're trying to at least deep ball it over a safe play over to the slot. And Emmanuel Sanders did catch a touchdown, and Alvin Kamara caught 2 receiving touchdowns, and they were driving back at least near 40, 30 or at least 20-yard plays near the first down whenever they gave it to Kamara. The guy went 50. Latavius Murray also played. He was just used for number crunching and of course inside the run because Latavius Murray is good at that while Alvin Kamara could just be good in the run and in the pass and always use in the shorter or deeper plays. So I guess it was a better option, but in my opinion they gotta sign somebody or something, man. Emmanuel Sanders, Latavius Murray, and Calvin and Alvin Kamara is not gonna be it. Jared Cook was barely utilized unless it was down near the red zone, or at least they needed a short curl. And it just felt like, dude, be using these guys at high capacity. There was no Michael Thomas to be anywhere, and Drew Brees got fumbled. Taysom Hill off a trick play got fumbled. Dante Harris got fumbled. There was only one interception, a pass deflection. That was off Carl Ganderson. and that was over an attempt over giving it to Lizard. Cameron Jordan got like scruffed up and barely got any assist tackles or anything. Like the guy barely even came as a threat. Marshawn Lattimore was just getting like stopping anybody who got the ball nearly 50 yards away. Janoris Jenkins, he did get a huge tackle for loss when it came to stopping not Aaron Jones. It was an awful trick play to some handoff to somebody else. Other than that, I just felt like the defensive unit was weak. Somewhat for both teams, especially off the secondary, where it looked like the Packers' secondary wasn't even planning on tackling. And it got like Alvin Kamara to be like, I don't know if it's because he's good, really good, or because they're not trying. That's my opinion on the matter. Other than that, the Packers start 3-0. 1-2 are the Saints. I think the team with the better numbers, I think, are currently the Buccaneers so far after winning their first two games, but those are against weaker teams, in my opinion. I don't want to count games against weaker teams. Next up, we had Monday Night Football, and it was the Chiefs against the Baltimore Ravens. Now I know what you're thinking. Obviously, like two of the best high offensive teams in the NFL. That's probably not going to be their last meeting against each other, and they have remarkable records. But we all knew the Chiefs were going to win, right? And then they got the Patriots come this week. So, yeah, I was scared for the Baltimore Ravens because I knew what was going to happen. You had Pat Mahomes slapping their defense so bad off a 4 touchdown, 385. The guy went for like an underhand shuttle pass, and it looked like a normal pass down the red zone. The guy was like going crazy. Clyde Edwards-Helaire went for like 64 yards, but he averaged 3, and he was enough to get at least some first downs for the team. Pat Mahomes scrambled down like mid, I think it was like the 30 something yard. And Mikael Hardman played better than he did the last few weeks. Off some crazy deep balls. Like everybody went like look at this, bro. You look at the stat line, everybody went over 60 yards. Sammy Watkins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tyreek Hill, Mikael Hardman, and Travis Kelce. That's the leading receiver in yardage. The only person that I forgot was an O-lineman, Eric Fisher, notable O-lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs, coming around scoring a short pass touchdown to like literally pour some sea salt into a Baltimore's wound. And if this was any other game, you would think that you would be disappointed with the Ravens' performance. I thought they played hard in some semblance. And I'm talking about in some semblance. Lamar Jackson only was like 15 to 28 and only had 97 yards. The better plays came off Gus Johnson, or else he wasn't trying to scramble over speed option, triple option, read option, a lot of read option, coming down off the pocket, or just getting snuffed up by the defense. And I just wish some teams wouldn't utilize the run that often if they know how to stop over the blitzing. They literally covered our tracks if we had literally the best running unit in the NFL for the 49ers. So, yeah. I mean, the best play came off of just a huge deep bomb over to J.K. Dobbins. But that was like later in the game, and it really didn't matter. Mark Andrews came around off a couple calls, but they they reviewed it for like near a touchdown. And Marquise Brown only 13 yards. It just there was only like one Nick Boyle touchdown. I thought he was a Jacob Doyle. Don't blame me. I'm not racist. Oh god, just a decent red zone play. The guy only caught one pass. Willie Snead was like nowhere to be found. Mark Ingram wasn't utilized that much on the offensive unit, and it's like we couldn't attack the gut. They're just utilizing their run because literally freaking Lamar Jackson's a half-breed receiver, and it just felt like the defense was like nowhere. There was like a few pass deflections over the deep ball, and yes, Marlon Humphrey led in that department. Sean Elliott as well, and Calais Campbell. Still weird to see him on the team. I don't know why people be snatching up like great players now, like it's freaking hotcakes instead of building. Other than that, yeah, they couldn't stop anything. Watkins aside, like I don't think there was a recorded sack at all. There was no recorded sack. It was hard to even reach over the line. Calais Campbell was barely even rushing down at least double team block option, and it just felt like Jimmy Smith, Chuck Clark couldn't get a receiver to save their life because Watkins, Hill, most of them are speedsters, and plus you got to thread over Travis Kelce. And it's like their team is great as well. It's just I don't see anybody to stop, and you just see how dangerous this Chiefs team can be. They start 3-0. That would be expected, bro. Boy, 34-20. It's a tough loss, but I see them winning their next game. The Ravens can bounce back from this upset by 14. I mean, I would feel insulted if I lose to a team that threw a touchdown pass to their old lineman, not for a clever trick play to come back, but literally to pour salt into the wound. Boy. Lamar Jackson would be sacked at least twice. I know, like 4 times. By Frank Clark, Char- Jarvis Ward. I think it's Shavarius Ward, but I'm not trying. I already had an issue with black people names back on Thursday Night Football, like week 1, and Chris Jones sacked him twice. And that's off the option play, just getting overly stuffed whenever he's trying to stay in the pocket too long. It just and I think they're just too gutsy to get out of the pocket for him to run. I understand that's their ability, but eh, it's just it wouldn't be a common shootout, and I feel like the Chiefs would win if it was more of a shootout other than a nuanced run play because literally Andy Reid can literally just get through that because he's been getting over nuanced rushing teams like for most of his career coaching. So I don't doubt Andy Reid's chances of beating a fast paced team like the Ravens. Other than that, it was an expected game for a loss. You just expect something completely like close and down the wire. But the Ravens come off losing this one. That's a tough loss, and now that strikes them like 2-1. What there's also the Pittsburgh Steelers that are I think undefeated right now. That follow up, and it's good to see them in strong health. Other than the last season of mediocrity, and and the Cleveland Browns are following up with 2 straight wins. Too bad they're against below 500 teams that are probably not going to make the playoffs. But yeah, take a win you can. The Browns just came off a tough one, and it's they're starting way better than they did last season. I think they started like 2-4, and there were 2 wins. So that's a good way to start. The only team that's disappointing is of course the Browns, but they at least I mean the Bengals, but at least they're competitive against their game against Philadelphia. That they at least ended up with a draw, and that's better than a loss in my account. For the Eagles, like they having a way huge problem. This is a rebuilding unit. This is a team that's at least trying to buy in, or at least still be a competent contender for a wild card. At the point that the Cowboys on paper is literally a better team. But yeah, that's my primetime recap for week 3. Thanks for watching. Of course, I'll get my recap for week 3 done like later in the afternoon before we get into our Thursday night game against the Broncos and Jets. So hopefully you guys get ready for that as well.